every time you fall,
Hmm.
you find new ways of picking yourself back up.
Hi, Erica. I am excited to have you here. I know your story and success are going to inspire others to start believing in themselves. And I would like for you to tell us, what is your 180 success?
Thank you so much for having me, Tiffany. My 180 success is being an artist and a muralist.
Oh, wow. What inspired you to become a artist slash muralist?
Honestly, I've had art with me my entire life. I grew up with it in my house, with my grandmother, with my mom, just had a lot of creatives around me. And so I was very lucky to have kind of that early start and just have people that believed in me from the very beginning.
Wow. Did they see something in you to where they began to give you different supplies, art supplies, and things like that for you to flourish and evolve into who you are today?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. It was always kind of widely available from crayons to watercolors to pencils to paint. So I was very lucky because I did grow up in that household that really kind of helped, you know, supply like the nourishment I needed to be continue my creative journey from like an early standpoint. My dad always jokes around that I was like drawing with crayons while most kids were eating them, like as a toddler.
I love it. Did you begin as a painter in other forms before moving into murals?
Absolutely. I think it took a really long time for me to get the confidence to be able to work at such a large scale. And I think that there's kind of this sense that you should instantly be good at something to be able to enter that space.
Hmm.
Um, and so I had to kind of grapple with that in my mind and just really kind of go for it. And so felt a little, like it took time to get to that point where I could have that confidence level to be able to just go for like that large scale work. So it had to come from within for sure.
And how did you develop that from within? What did you do to do that?
That's such a great question. So my mom always said from the get go, you're young, you're talented, like just go for it. And so I'd had, you know, all of the school and all of the training, but it really took just one like mantra that I kind of honed in on. It was, and I wish I knew the source, because it's brilliant and it's so simple. And it was just create,
Hmm.
kind of like the Nike, just do it,
Mhm.
but just create. And so no matter what that looked like, if it was, donating my time, donating murals to spaces and just building that portfolio and meeting other people that are, because Sacramento, we are so lucky. We are just this really beautiful hub of people from all different backgrounds and all different styles and just an incredible artist community that really allows people to come into it and kind of develop and grow.
Mhm.
So just making those contacts and getting out there into the world, I think was a huge part of that. So I think it was that mantra of just get out there and start creating, no matter what that looks like, no matter how small or large the project, just start doing it, start somewhere to build that portfolio.
And how did you
Yeah.
find your style?
Oh, that's such a great question because that actually stumped me for a long time and kind of stopped me for a bit. So like, to have that deep dive. So having a style was something in art school that always seemed like this, like you had to have a style before you started,
Mm.
like that had to be fully realized before diving in. And so finding that style, I think honestly for me has been more a journey and I hope to continue to grow and develop in my style as an artist. So it's always part of that creative path. And so you're constantly shaping and reforming and challenging yourself and kind of being open to critique and suggestions and ideas that kind of come up. So I would like to say that my style continues to grow, but I do think that I have kind of fallen into like a rhythm for
Hmm.
sure with the style.
How would you describe your style? Because I've seen some of your art or your murals on the walls at different schools and parks, and your art is very elegant at times, elaborate, vibrant, and when I see different art pieces in Sacramento, at times I'm like, "Is that Erica's piece?" So how would you describe your style?
Yeah, I love that you said vibrant because I do love just the vibrancy of our native flora. I do a lot of work kind of trying to kind of talk about sustainability and kind of embrace what we naturally have here in California and ways to kind of conserve and protect our natural resources. So kind of bringing that vibrancy so that you kind of get this energy from these murals, I think for me, like hopes draw some attention to something that I think we can all make small choices to kind of improve. But for the large scale pieces, I've done a lot more line work more recently, and a lot of that is to just have something really bold that can kind of stand out. Whereas in my smaller studio pieces, maybe they'll kind of lean more into the abstract nature instead of like the more graphic. So I've kind of stylistically developed kind of studio pieces are slightly different from what the mural pieces will present as.
So your style is versatile
Yeah,
depending
it is.
on okay, I
Yeah.
like that because I know
And also, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, you're totally fine. I was gonna say that some artists, um, they have a certain style, and when you see their art, it all relates, or there's something within each piece that connects all pieces. And so I like the fact that you were versatile. And how did you develop versatility? Is it just because you didn't favor one over the other, or you wanted to have the advantage of having the versatility and being able to connect with different people when they see your art?
I think it's the latter. I think that's brilliantly put to be able to connect more and to have that versatility and that range of style and then also subject matter. So if I'm doing work at a park and the clients or the county or whoever it is want to have something that represents the park itself, I can do a design that's really kind of honing in on those needs of the community. Um, and when I did the steel art panel project with Caltrans and the county of Sacramento, so it's off of the freeway and it goes through various neighborhoods. So meeting with the community members in the neighborhood to find out how they wanted their space depicted and their cultures depicted and to just be able to really come up with a design that the community could be proud of. So
See.
to just listen to their voice and their ideas. So versatility, I think, has really served me as an artist to be able to serve our community. Um, and yeah, I think that in the murals, it works the same exact way to just have that range of style, but also have kind of this growth and development through it. So you could probably look at the murals and know that most of them are me stylistically, but the subject matter will be, you know, it'll change depending on the space. I worked for an architectural firm for a while, so I got to know a lot more about buildings and spaces. So the style that I have in my mural work, I like to think that it reflects like a specific space. So I take not just the dimensions, but the way that like a retaining wall is built into the earth and where elements of the walls meet different walls and lighting. So I try to take as much into account of the space as possible too.
Oh,
So I guess that kind of lends itself to being more versatile just in and of itself.
well, I like what you just said because I know a lot of our listeners get their ideas from many places, like different artists and also their community or neighborhoods. How do you think they can put those ideas together in their art?
I love that. I think the more that you meet with people and listen to stories and experiences and just, I think it's really about listening. And so my biggest piece of advice there would be to just listen, take it all in. I always have a notebook or a sketchbook with me so that I can write ideas down or even my phone, like if I don't have anything accessible, so that you can really kind of hone in on what people want and kind of come up with like those clear ideas so that once you're putting pen to paper and starting your sketching process, it can become a dialogue between those notes, your sketches, and then you can even go back and just, I like the idea of having a dialogue when you're forming kind of a conceptual idea of what you're going to paint or draw. So I think the best advice I'd have is to listen.
To listen to your community.
Yeah.
I like how you use the word dialogue because I can see how it connects to your art and how it spoke to me when I saw it and how I felt when I saw it. So when you said dialogue, I can totally understand that. And with the different techniques that you have, and at one time I saw you, I'm going to say this part because I remember it stands out to me, and it connects how you connect the community. One school you were at, you had kids and they were using their painted hands to add to the mural on the wall at their school. So, is that something that you do regularly with the community in order to get them involved? Or are there additional ways you get the community involved when it comes to the murals for them?
Yeah, but it absolutely depends on the project. I love that you remember that. It's my greatest honor to work with community. So it can either be some projects that'll just be about the brainstorming about the ideas and listening to the community about what they want and kind of presenting different ideas to them so that they can choose. And then sometimes when I get really lucky, like what you're saying, I get to work directly with people
Mm,
and working with people of all ages, from kids to adults, and to just talk about the process of installing a mural and painting and the way that people have conversations and they're in this shared space and really working on something together. I mean, it's something that people never forget.
mm.
And so I think it's a really wonderful part of it, that it's not just about the final piece. It's about that journey that it took to get there and those memories and how that influences a space. I just think it's so powerful and incredible.
I love that. And I was thinking of when I saw the mural on the wall and how you began, the thought popped into my head, where did she start? Where was the starting point on the wall? How do you decide from your sketchbook where you're going to begin on the wall when it comes to large projects?
Well, that's a great question. Yeah, and that's been a lot of trial and error and just, I mean, listening and talking to other muralists. I've been, like I had said before, really, really grateful to be such an incredible, or to be within such an incredible artist community and to be able to have these conversations with other artists. But I always begin a mural with the background. So anytime I have like a sketch or an idea, like any, the most foregrounded components of the design will be the ones I do last. So I always start in the background and then work my way out, almost like sculpting the space so that as you get further and further into the foreground, those are the completed, details, the finishing touches.
Wow. How long have you been doing this? Has it been
Great
many, many
question too.
years? Or
Yeah, I mean, I've been in art some way or another my entire career. So be it graphic design, architectural design. But in terms of murals, I actually started just before the pandemic. So it was about 2019. And because it's a medium where you can do it in the world and social distancing was a big part of all of our lives. So I was able to work quite a bit over the pandemic during, that really, really difficult time. And very lucky to have something like that to work on and build. So I guess now we're in 2025. So I guess I've been at this about 6 years with the murals.
I
But
love
just
it.
had that in terms of getting that confidence, like I was mentioning before. It took a little while, but I got there.
Yes, you have. I've seen your art and it's beautiful. I would have never
Thank you.
guessed it's been just the time that you stated. I thought it's been way over that time that you've been doing murals. So you were doing an excellent job and you were a phenomenal muralist. I just want to
Thank
let you
you.
know you're very welcome. I would like to know, what is the biggest challenges you face when working on large scale murals?
Let's see. Again, it completely depends on the project. I think when it's private murals, so either residential or when I'm working with private entities, it's really easy to get approval and things moving quickly. So I would say some of the larger projects that I get through county, state, kind of larger bureaucracies,
Mhm.
it just takes time, which I completely understand when it comes to something like Caltrans. They have to go through so many levels of clearance for the
Mhm.
design, for the install date, for all the other components. There's a wall that I'm going to be doing in Fresno that I was awarded about a year ago and I still haven't installed it. They approved the
Wow.
design, but because it's a new build in a community park, they have to build this DMU block wall before I can come and paint it. So they're a little behind schedule.
Mhm.
And so I just, I'll schedule it once they're ready for me. So I think the biggest thing is being flexible with a lot of these projects because the timelines, depending on, again, the entity that you're working for, it can be easy and fast, or it can take, a little bit of time to get things through. So I think patience and just being able to continually pencil things in on the calendar and be on my toes is really, really helpful.
I see. Well, congratulations to the new project. I would like to
Thank you.
say you're very welcome. I would like to know, how do you obtain the projects? Do these entities reach out to you or do you reach out to them? How does that work?